of many. Yeah, so really good to be here.
Thank you so much. John, why did you decide to set up this event?
Well, you know, I've been, there's several reasons. I've been a keen networker for a long time. And I think, you know, this kind of event, this kind of live event online gives us an opportunity to really learn from each other, to benefit from each other's experience. I think that's very important. I think the world has changed, as we have all experienced, drastically and dramatically in the last 12 months due to the pandemic and the kind of the disruptive factor that it's having on all of us. And you know, what I hope is that we've got some really interesting speakers here who are looking at completely different aspects of blockchain, crypto, Forex, etc. And I see this as a learning experience for people. You know, a lady called Joy, who unfortunately can't be on the call today, I was speaking to her the other day. She said something that I thought was very important. She said, you know, technology is morally and ethically agnostic. And I like that saying. And it means with all the new technology that is coming along, it's very much up to us to use it to the benefit of the many, to share it, or, you know, to help them learn and grow, or to leave it in the hands of the select few with all the dangers that that entails. And I would rather use this kind of platform, this kind of exchange to see, you know, how it can be of mutual benefit to everybody and to the betterment of society.
Fantastic, John. Really good to hear. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself? Why you got involved in this industry?
Yeah, so I actually have a business consultancy. I'm also a rapid transformational therapist, which is a hypnotherapist type of hypnotherapy. I'm also a philanthropist. It's very important to me to give children a fair start in life, and I've founded a charity called Joy Africa, where we have the mission of helping 100,000 street kids in the poorest countries in Africa to have a decent life, to have a house, to have a home, have education, access to healthcare facilities, and to get love and attention. And you know, by 2030, I want to have, the objective is really to have 100,000 of them safely looked after. So that's kind of the mix of things that I do. As well, obviously, as having a sort of a diversified portfolio of investments and different income streams. And as I say, the last 12 months has actually showed me how important that is. And that's actually the reason why I got involved in CashFX, who, as you know, we're CashFX Europe, we're sponsoring this event.
That's amazing, John. Thank you so much. So I assume that CashFX actually funds a lot of the work that you are doing out in Africa.
Well, I mean, you know, it's giving me the investment that I have made in CashFX is giving me, I've been involved for about 12 months now. It's giving me regular cash flow and profit. And obviously that helps me to invest a portion of that money into the Joy Africa project. So yes, in that sense, indirectly, that is what I am choosing to do with the money that I'm generating through CashFX.
Okay, cool. So now I really have to ask, what is CashFX?
So it's interesting because frankly, it's something that probably 18 months ago, 2 years ago, I would not have dreamt of getting involved in. I wouldn't really have had it on the radar, and I would have been extremely skeptical, to be honest with you, a bit, you know, cynical. CashFX is actually a kind of a hybrid business model. So on the one hand, it's actually an e-learning company. So the kind of the tangible product or service that the company offers is an online academy where you can actually train up to the level of becoming a professional Forex trader. I don't do that, but that is, for the investment that you make in CashFX, you actually have the opportunity, if you so wish, to take part in that online academy, which some people love. Certainly wising up and educating themselves on CashFX through that online academy is one option. It's something that I do as from an educational point of view, but I have no ambition to personally become a professional Forex trader. Simply wouldn't have time for it, and I think my skills lie elsewhere, to be honest with you. What I think about the Forex market, and we're going to hear lots of guys talking today about crypto and blockchain, and I think these things are all extremely interesting and exciting technologies which are around, which people can benefit from and get involved in. They're going to talk about that. I actually think we shouldn't overlook the Forex market the way CashFX does it, also as an interesting option. So CashFX trades in Forex, so it's basically combining, and by the way, it's $5.3 trillion worth of exchange every day, not 5.3 trillion people investing in Forex every day. But nevertheless, what we do is we have an interesting combination of well-seasoned Forex traders coupled with heavy investment in AI technology. So we have earnings advisors, which essentially are bots. The advantage of the earnings advisors, of course, is that they can work more quickly and comprehensively than the human mind. But when you then combine that with the experts, the actual people who analyze the results they're getting and adjust the bots accordingly, then we actually get a very good symbiosis between human and technology, or human and machine, if you like. The other thing that's quite interesting is that all our transactions, every purchase we made, every payment we receive, every withdrawal we make is in Bitcoin. Oscar Lopez, who developed the company, set the company up, he's also a seasoned crypto trader. And he saw this also, amongst other things, as a way of combining the two of them, by combining Forex and crypto, by ensuring that all our transactions are in Bitcoin, which means if you want to accrue Bitcoin, this is also another way of doing that. It's a passive investment opportunity. So if you really don't want to do anything other than invest a sum of money and then kind of leave it to the experts, you really don't have to do anything else. That's what I did the first 9 months, because I really wanted to see, is this a scam? Am I going to get decent returns? You know, what's this company really about? So I actually just invested a sum of money passively and watched what happened to that. So you can absolutely do that. And for anybody who wants to get involved from a business point of view, to set up their own business, either as an additional business or even as a main source of income over time, there is in fact also a network marketing opportunity linked to that as well, with a very attractive remuneration structure. So, you know, all in all, that is, as I say, a hybrid system. Will, at the end of the event, will offer people a little bit more of an opportunity to learn more about CashFX if they're interested. But right now, I think I've probably said enough as the sponsor of this event, and I would love you to start introducing some of our speakers, because I know they've got really valuable things to talk about as well.
Wonderful explanation and introduction. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. The first speaker who are going to get us on the way here is going to be the incredible Phil Nolte, who is a vice president of B1 Financial. B1 is unlike any bank in the world, offering one account for fiat and cryptocurrencies. B1 is built for the future of finance. So if you can receive, hold, convert, and send your money anytime, anywhere. Phil, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Fantastic. Phil, can you give us a little bit of a background of your business, please?
Absolutely. We are our goal is to be the bank of the future. And the goal here is very real. Every single day, you're hearing about individuals, professional traders, and companies who are either mildly associated with crypto, looking to get involved in crypto, or full-fledged operating in crypto, getting their bank accounts shut down. Traditional banks have no idea how to handle crypto because in a lot of countries and jurisdictions, it's not fully regulated. So we've taken an approach which is entirely geared around being above board, licensed and regulated in many different jurisdictions. We offer accounts to individuals and corporations who need better banking services that are not considered tier 2 just because you're in crypto. It's a tier 1 service allowing you to tie into SWIFT, SEPA, and all the different payment mechanisms you might need to run.
Amazing. Can you tell us all, Phil, how did you get involved in crypto?
It's one of those things. I've always been a startup guy. So I've been in a number of incubators. I've started a handful of companies myself, sold my last one, and then joined B1 as they were really about a year and a half ago, as they were really starting to set the foundation for this amazing growth. And so I've had a lot of friends who live in Hong Kong and Singapore and other places where it's a lot more common, where, 3 years ago, Singapore came out with regulations and it's very above board. The central bank is involved. They're taxing on it. It's very regular. The rest of the world is just looking to catch up. And so those friends have always talked my ear off about all the amazing opportunities in crypto. So I had to get involved a little bit personally. And then with B1, it was a beautiful meshing of my professional background and personal aspirations to join a company that's literally defining the future of finance, which is one of, if not the biggest industry in the world, as money does run everything, fortunately and unfortunately in some cases.
Absolutely. Phil, why are you passionate about crypto and blockchain?
There's a couple of reasons. I think the biggest one is really because it's setting a new foundation that's built by the people for the people, and organizations or governments or countries are having to catch up. And so typically you'll see this type of structure being built by a government or by an entity, and then bestowed on the people to use it and to rack in the profits themselves and distribute it as they see fit. In this case, it's truly this decentralized ledger technology, which is nothing new. But Bitcoin is one of those hot topics, but it's been around for over a decade, and many of the large banks do this already. They use the blockchain as a more secure, faster, more transparent way of operating. If you look at Bitcoin, the blockchain of Bitcoin, for example, does over 300,000 transactions a day. And they've never, ever had a single error. So when you start looking at these kind of stats, it's just mind blowing to see how much human error is actually involved in running your finances, your life, your savings, your investments, all the things that you work so hard for. It's just so obvious to see these sort of mundane tasks, like literally holding a ledger, be done by technology, be done by things like smart contracts that are just completely transparent, that anyone can read and that run, and no one can take it down. So to me, this is really paving the future of the world, the future of global finance, let alone how all of us are going to be managing our daily lives.
That's wonderful, man. Thank you. Can you tell us, how did you get involved in the crypto space?
Absolutely. So I initially was just intrigued. I mean, call it the startup junkie in me. It moves so fast. It's as if you take the entire internet and relaunch it, and at a much accelerated pace with much more transparency, because social media is everywhere and everyone shares everything today. So it's one of those things that it's impossible not to hear about it, even if you're against crypto or against the idea of non-government run, currencies or technologies. You're still hearing about it. You can't run away from it. It is growing so fast. So I first got involved because, again, my friends were telling me about it. Some were making some good money with it. Others were heavily involved in, launching their own tokens and, following that kind of. On the flip side, I joined B1 professionally because it was at this really exciting inflection point of growth. We had a few really strong corporate clients, and I was brought on to build out the corporate side. And now we've got clients all over the world in countries that, prior to working with us, they simply could not get a bank account. And so do I consider myself a banker? Absolutely not. I consider myself an enabler of growth. And so in this world, crypto is the growth that a lot of these companies are seeing. And so, if you look at MicroStrategy based right here outside of Toronto, a guy named Michael Saylor is all over Twitter, as they're putting, they were one of the first large companies to put a lot of their treasury into crypto, specifically Bitcoin. And they made a killing doing it. And then Tesla followed suit recently after that. And you're hearing more and more and more of these companies doing it, which is fully legitimizing the industry at a much larger level than we were operating at before. So, a year and a half joining in this world professionally allowed me to do what I was doing as a side passion full time, and to network with people in dozens of countries every single day. So on one side, COVID was quite frustrating. You're not going to events and you're having to interact with people like this. Although it's very productive, it's also a little bit tougher. And so the flip side of that is that you do get to talk to 12 different countries in a day, and end the day almost having toured the world.
Wow, that's very interesting. Thank you so much for sharing that. Let's roll back a little bit, and I really want to ask you, how is B1 Financial making an impact within the crypto space?
I think we're bringing it to the forefront. Banking with crypto used to be a faux pas. It used to be something that people didn't really want to talk about. Crypto companies would talk to each other about how did you manage to do this and how did you transfer that. It's really trying to become a legitimate industry at large. And if you can't bank, it's very hard for you to grow a thriving business. Now, there are tons of businesses who have grown without bank accounts, but our goal is to make it totally at the forefront, easily accessible with great service, and the best technology. So our founder's a PhD in cryptography. We're built from the ground up on the most secure platform, and we've used blockchain for over 6 years now just to do a lot of the transactions we were already doing at the bank. It's just faster, more secure. And so with a global remittance network that we built, we're allowing our clients to actually send money anywhere in the world in real time with complete transparent fees. And so, being able to help a family send money back home to Nigeria or to South Africa or to Togo or to Benin, it's just such an amazing feel good, while also offering them technology that allows them to hold multiple currencies without having to change it, right? So when you're going through central banks, often the country will make you change it to their currency. And a lot of these countries, the fluctuations of currency is just too much. So we're, really helping in a big way bring a lot of people out of poverty, a lot of people out of, the insecure structure that is, their local currency into a global view. And so whether it's on the individual side or the corporate side, every single day we're making an impact in ushering people into the new economy, the new age, whether it's through education, through actual services, or through great discussions, which teach us a ton about where we should be going.
Okay, that really makes me want to ask, what would you have been doing if it isn't for the crypto space that you're in right now?
So as I mentioned earlier, I'm a big startup guy. I just thrive off the energy of entrepreneurs, and I love being around networking, growing the networks, making connections. Business development in general is just so exciting to me because you got all these opportunities ready to go. You just have to go get them. And so I'd probably be in a startup incubator or running a VC firm or something of the sort, where you get to have that impact every day. It'd be a smaller impact because you're really focusing on a handful of companies, whatever your bandwidth allows. But I think I would be doing something along those lines. And, I think that explains quite a bit as to why I'm in this industry right now, because it's its own new sandbox. It's like a global incubator for, companies wanting to redefine the future of finance. And it doesn't have to be just finance. A lot of companies are getting into blockchain for, land deed and land transfer and land ownership, tokenizing stock exchanges so that certain countries who don't have access to that can gain access to it. You know, there's all these unbelievable applications of the blockchain that decentralized technologies can provide. And so, I think if I wasn't in crypto specifically, or working in an environment where I get to talk and communicate and help people in this space, I would definitely still be in the business growth space, likely in investments or incubators or something of the sort.
Amazing. Final question. What advice would you give to anyone who's interested about learning about the crypto space?
That's a great question, because that's one where the internet is a little overwhelming. You'll be run down by things like Dogecoin is the future, and to some degree, form your own opinions. That's the foundation, I think, of all of this, because it is arguably new territory. It's the Wild West kind of thing. But I would say just read as much as you can. Follow people on social media. Read the reports. Join investment firm newsletters that are sharing this information every day. You'll hear from future speakers in this event as well, who have amazing resources that you can take part in, and you can join up with their networks, because education really is the key to all this. I've learned pretty much all I know in this space from friends who were involved in the space and pointed me to certain directions. But there is so much noise. There's so much, pardon my French, there's so much crap out there. And it's all about, fear mongering in some cases, because that gets more clicks. Yes, there are some really dangerous times and dangerous protocols and things you might not want to get involved in. Bitcoin early got a bad rap because it was involved in Silk Road, which was a dark web application to buy whatever you want that was illegal. Now, things have evolved a lot, and the more you read, the more you realize how fast and how much has changed. It's just unbelievable to see how legitimate the crypto industry has become, and how many applications you can get involved with, even with $10, $20 to start. So it's not about saying you have to bet the farm and, oh, wow, I'm a crypto guy versus I'm not a crypto guy. It is a huge future for humanity in general, and it's worth learning about, whether you want to get involved financially or not. It's just something, it's a technology like the internet. It's the new wave coming about, and most companies you're hearing about that are doing significant developments in technology will have some sort of component associated with the blockchain, especially if there's any security or privacy issues involved, because it is the most secure tech that we've seen today.
That was incredibly insightful. Thank you so much, Phil. Final thing, how do people get a hold of you if they want to continue the conversation after this event?
Great. So again, I'm with B1 Financial. Our website is B1VEONE.financial. You can reach me on LinkedIn as well. My name is Phil Nolting, Noelting. You can email me as well. I guess fastest way would be probably through Twitter. Crypto World is run heavily on Twitter as well, so I'm the most active there. That would be at P Nolting, Noelting.
Fantastic. And just to let the audience know, everyone's social details for LinkedIn is in the description of the video that you're watching right now. Phil, really appreciate your time. Thank you so much, man. Enjoy the rest of your day, and thank you for talking.
I appreciate it. Thank you for the time. And if anyone's curious about learning about crypto or just wanting to connect or anything, reach out on LinkedIn. I very much look forward to sharing, learning, talking, growing together.
Fantastic. That is amazing. Cool. So the next speaker that we have is Pedro Lima. And Pedro is a speaker and a trader who is passionate about helping others within his country learn more about the benefits of the global crypto market. Pedro, you are now pinned to the screen. How are you doing today?
Hi, Zach. Hi, everyone. I'm very good. How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you so much. Pedro, tell us a little bit about yourself, please.
I was a salesman for IT multinational companies such as Oracle, SAP, and Google Partners for 10 years, and I developed my career in sales. And 1.5 years ago, I switched to crypto, and then that's what I'm doing. And for now,
Why did you make the switch to crypto, Pedro?
it's a long answer, but
Take your time.
I think I was never good in a highly hierarchical environment, from school to business to companies. And then now autonomous, working with technology, helping my friends, helping my family, making money from my house, doing my schedule. It fits my personality much better. It's not about what's right and wrong, it's just me.
Cool, fantastic. And can you tell me, how did you get involved in crypto?
Yes, I was looking for a way to invest my money and to get return out of it without having the government watching and taking a slice out of the cake. And I never liked that. And I wanna just do my thing, and for me, not for the government.
Amazing. So would you say that crypto has changed your life in any way?
It did. It did. It brought me both professional and personal realization, since it not only gives me money, but it gives me the ability to teach others, and that fulfills a person's, not at least me. So it did change, and it will keep changing.
Amazing. So on that note, tell us, why are you so passionate about the crypto space?
It's for everyone. It's not, that's the thing I like. It's really for everyone. When people brought the internet, they thought it was going to be the fourth media. So they thought we were going to have radio, television, newspapers, and internet. And it's quite not like that, because you can watch TV on the internet, you can read newspapers on the internet, you can listen to radio on the internet. So it really is all combined. And crypto is the same thing. People just think in cryptos as an asset. It's not. It's equities. It's just a lot more, and you will be a lot more in the future. So we're we have the privilege to be the first ones, and still is the beginning. People think, oh no, Bitcoin is here for more than 10 years now, it already done, I already lost the train. And it's not quite like that. It's just the beginning, and I want to be part of it.
Amazing. Can you tell us, how are you helping others educate themselves about the crypto space?
Yeah, I'm finishing structuring a course, which I will be selling, and people will have options to stay with me for a long time, not as a financial advisor, but as some curator, some guy who like feels set enables. I like that word, enabling people to grow. And I have this course. It basically, it's two parts. First, it's just concept, because people don't understand the basic concepts. What is blockchain? What is proof of work? What is Bitcoin? What is consensus? What is money? And I like to go in this concept so people can understand a little bit of the basics, at least, not an expert, but the basics. And then the operational side. So what is an exchange? The difference between a hard wallet, a cold wallet? How do you store? How do you buy? How do you do your stuff, and what exchanges accept our fiat? How should you do that? And it's more the operational side and the concept side.
Amazing, fantastic. Pedro, what advice would you give to anyone who is unaware of the crypto space and they're interested in getting involved in crypto space?
Study. Study, because there's no way around it. You will have to study and to understand a little bit better. Otherwise, you will be just giving your money to someone manage it. And crypto is totally not about that. It brings you the responsible for your money, your investments. So that's why I don't recommend letting your money in an exchange forever, because it's again the same thing. You're giving your money for someone to manage. So study, have a lot of people that you can get knowledge from, not only one and two, but open your your network of getting these informations and always be reading things and reading news and be eager to know more, because it's not a simple subject for someone who's never been in this type of market, or being an asset market or technology. And that's all.
Amazing, fantastic. I really appreciate your answers today, man. If you want to just tell the audience, how do they get a hold of you if they wanted to continue this conversation with you directly?
Yeah, sure. When you asked Phil, I was already trying to let it on Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V. So it's on the chat, but you can email me, or you can contact me via LinkedIn and send me a message. I'm pretty open to networking, and that's pretty much it. It's on the chat already, my email and my LinkedIn.
Great. And then again, just for the audience, in case anyone else joined, if you didn't hear me say this at the beginning, everyone's social details for LinkedIn is in the description of the YouTube video that you're streaming right now. Pedro, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Zach. Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Cool. So the next speaker is part of a revolutionary business, which is basically the next generation of a reward-based social media application that enables all users to earn a fair share for their contribution, as well as create influence within the network through cryptocurrency reward token. And that speaker is Uma. Hi, Uma, how are you?
Hi, Zach, and hi, everyone watching. Thanks so much for having me.
Absolutely pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for joining. Uma, take your time. Can you please let your audience know what your business is?
Sure. So basically, to describe the bigger picture, I'm, as I said, as you said, co-founder and COO of Aapix. Now, Aapix AG, incorporated in Switzerland, is a blockchain ecosystem. So my team and I, we actually have several services and products, and the Aapix platform, the app being the first one, which is, as you described, a social media platform with its own integrated cryptocurrency that allows users to generate an income simply by sharing content, by engaging with content, so voting and commenting. And it's really the easiest way for just the average person to get into crypto without having to have any sort of understanding of the underlying technology of how it works. And with Aapix, we had quite a successful token sale and success in general in the space. And we grew our community globally, and we've established ourselves sort of in the crypto space, combining also our skills of marketing and branding and the crypto space. And so with that knowledge that we gained from building Aapix, we then launched also agencies that helped us help other projects, other crypto projects get out there, become successful, build a community and a product that attracts the masses, and help others outside of the crypto space also to tokenize their business. So right now we're also even building an NFT marketplace, and we'll continue to grow that blockchain ecosystem with the mission to just allow a really seamless user experience and onboarding for anyone to get into the crypto space.
That's amazing. That really makes me want to ask you, Uma, what got you involved in the industry?
Sure. So I actually was introduced to the blockchain industry around 2013, quite early on through a mentor of mine, who's also my co-founder now. And he's an early Bitcoin miner, and it's really been my life ever since. But what really got me fully immersed, it was like 3 years later, was the moment when I realized the larger potential and impact blockchain technology and in general distributed ledger technology is going to have globally. So just, being aware of and understanding the actual usage, how it can improve lives, bring more transparency, equality, and just restore the trust in corporations and how we transact with each other, and even on a larger scale, really shift the world's power hierarchy. So just that understanding, that really got me immersed when I became really passionate about it.
Okay, cool. just to roll back a little bit. So Apex is an online social media platform where people actually get rewarded for posting content, commenting content, and so forth. Why did you decide to have a platform based like that?
Well, we decided to have a platform where just people don't actually need, to invest like monetarily, but they can just freely download an app and do something they do on a daily basis, something they do anyway. If you take someone out of their daily lives and you introduce them to, hey, you have to create a wallet, you have to set up this account and that is very complicated. But if you allow people to just do something they're already familiar with, like post a picture, download this app and make some money. Some people don't even understand it's cryptocurrency, but for us it was just so important to get people involved in the space just very seamlessly that they don't think about it. And so that sparked in us to create an app that is more Instagram-like, where it's very easy to upload content, people interact with each other, and all of a sudden, wow, I earn cryptocurrency. Now I can exchange that for another cryptocurrency. I can keep it in my wallet to increase my influence and my earnings on the platform, or I can spend it and get something in return. So creating that value was extremely important to us, and the platform in general, having a social media platform around it makes it fun, and people like to be entertained, they like to have fun. And also right now is an important time because with everything that's going on in the world and platforms and people being upset about these, the manipulative algorithms on other platforms, the lack of transparency, the unfair reward distribution and payouts on other platforms, it was really time for us to step in.
Amazing. That is so insightful. Could you let us know, how is your business Apex? I'm sorry. Could you let us know, how is your business making an impact in the crypto space?
Yes. We're making it, I would say, an impact in the crypto space because, first of all, it is helping to free people from, the current centralized corrupt system. So that is just outside, build wealth for themselves, also help to redistribute it. But it's also making impact within the crypto space because it's helping other projects to realize what's important, that it's not just about the technology, but it's about how do you actually communicate it out to a mainstream audience if that is what you want to achieve. If we want to revolutionize certain industries, if we want to disrupt certain systems and we want to get out there, then we have to do it in a way that speaks to the average Joe and doesn't just, it's not just something catered for the average crypto enthusiast tech genius. And so I think we're just at the forefront of that, just providing a seamless user experience and hopefully inspiring other projects, other crypto projects with their great technologies to take a similar route.
Okay, cool. So I have to ask you now, what would you have done if it isn't for Apex? What would you be doing?
Wow, that's quite difficult to answer because I don't really know life without it. And in general, without like the crypto space, just speaking about like crypto blockchain in general, like that's been my life since I was back in high school. So I can't imagine my life without it, but it's definitely, it would definitely be something that has to do with along the lines of charity and, helping people, helping animals, helping the planet, just doing something good in the world, because that's just what I'm passionate about in general. And I just think blockchain technology is a tool. I always say this, it's not, about what is blockchain or how does it work. It's a tool that we can use. We can use it for good, you can use it for bad, just like with the internet. It's about what do people do with it, and it facilitates and it sort of gives us a leverage. We can scale things and make it faster, more efficient with this technology, but the purpose is the same that it would be without blockchain. It's about helping people, making their lives better, and
That's incredible. It seems like your passion is undeniable. Why are you so passionate about helping people learn about this industry?
Well, as I just said, I'm quite passionate about helping people in general. So when I see something as incredible as this industry that has truly changed my life, and I know it's changed many other people's lives in the most positive ways, I just sort of see it as my responsibility to share my knowledge with others and to help them improve their lives and just open their eyes to these new opportunities. And I mean, in the beginning, I'm sure others can relate. You're kind of like, you want everybody to get it and understand it. Now I'm just taking a step back. I'm like, I can give you all the knowledge and information that you want, or you come to me. And it's so interesting because as the space evolves, sometimes people that back in the day you told about Bitcoin, about crypto, about blockchain, they're coming back now. And that's exciting to see because I'm not trying to get everybody involved and like you have to be with blockchain crypto, like take your time. But eventually, again, it's part of our technological evolution on a global scale, and everybody at some point is going to get involved with this. And so I'm just passionate about then being there and being able to help and provide and guide, provide information and guide them in the right direction.
Amazing. Based on what you just said, I am pretty tempted to sign up to Aapix right now. Can you kindly let the audience know how would they join Aapix? Is it available right now? Was there a waiting list for it? What do they need to do to get involved?
Yes, so we've had, as I said, quite a successful beta run for the last years. And now we're getting ready to for the main launch, which is going to be very soon. So everybody is excited for that. Right now, I would just suggest to follow us on social media. We have a Telegram group, Aapix. My link, you said, on LinkedIn is going to be in the description. So whoever just messages me Aapix, I can point you and send you all the links that you need to get the latest updates. Yeah, we're quite active on social media, so we always post the latest updates, and then you can be one of the first to get your hands on the official Aapix app for iOS and Android.
Amazing. I have one more question. As a female entrepreneur within the crypto space, what advice would you give to other females who are trying to get involved in the industry?
Yeah, I would say that right now we live in an era where gender or any type of descriptions really don't matter. The market doesn't care about it, and like it just, no one really cares about it. If you have a great product, if you have just one person that believes in you and that will work with you, then you have all the qualities you need. There is no he or she, and I've gotten just so much amazing support over the years. Like to every blockchain conference I went to, I've been welcomed with open arms. And I always say this on those like women in blockchain panels as well. Like, it's not about us being women. It's about stepping up and just doing it, following, your heart, your intuition, doing what you want in the space, trying to make an impact without thinking too much about what are other people going to think. That's the biggest thing women have. It's like, what are other people going to think? So leave that out, and you'll do amazing.
Amazing. Uma, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you
so much. Appreciate it. Really great being here.
Fantastic. So the next speaker is Kumar Kaleem. Kumar is the founder of Crypto Financial, a fintech-based company out in Ottawa, Canada, and they are a money service business that is in the process of launching an institutional grade exchange. And Kumar, how are you today?
I'm doing great. Thank you, Zach. Thank you for the introduction.
Appreciate you so much. Do you want to take a moment just to introduce yourself and your business to the world?
Sure. Thank you very much. First of all, I would like to say that the company that we are building is Crypto Financial, and it is a money services business, a financial entity. And the motive behind the company is to basically build a corridor or a bridge between the financial world and the end user. And the end user could be anywhere in the whole wide world. So we are trying to create a system which is consistent of many systems. Because without any complexity, I would like to say that there are so many banks in this world serving financial sector, but at the same time, there is a huge amount of people that they don't have access to banking systems for whatever reasons. So our goal is to get our product to them in the most logical manner and also add value in their social life. Without adding value in their social life, I think that I cannot explain the existence of my company or any company. I mean,
That's very interesting. Can you tell us, how did you get involved in the crypto space?
my involvement in crypto was very interesting. I had uh, received a invitation from somebody to look into a proposal to look into Bitcoin, and I never had any understanding of Bitcoin before up late 20 mid 2017 2016. I'm sorry, 2016 is the time where I got introduced to Bitcoin. I knew what cryptocurrencies were and how they work, like digital money, but I never looked into something. So he introduced me, and I looked into this, and I found a valid entry point at that time. And this is where I started taking more interest into this medium. So a friend of mine, he told me about it.
That's amazing. Wonderful. Could you let us know, how has crypto changed your life, Kamal?
Crypto changed my life, I would say, for infinity until I can recall my life. And I'm sure it is the same for my fellow speakers over here, because it empowers you. It gets you to a point where you can trigger things in the most safe manner. And I believe that this value that I'm getting out of crypto, it's just not wealth, it's awareness and it's support and overall integrity that is coming with the system. I'm trying to add that value into my family, into my children, into my communities, and I want to make sure that I also be um, I maintain it. So yeah, it definitely changed my life in a revolutionary manner. I'm a different man now.
Wonderful. I'm glad to hear. That is really good news. I want to know, and this will be very interesting for the audience to know as well, why are you so passionate about crypto?
Okay, here I would like to say, in our life, I'm talking about the global aspect, by the way. Finances and economy or economical topics are the focal point of every family. Not everybody is super wealthy. So there are people who are living okay life. Some people are living like dreamful life, and some people, they are below the poverty line. So my passion about crypto is that how we can bring wealth on the table and basically support those who, number one, they need support, they need training, and they need to be able to go after things now that they know. So passion, I'm driven by this passion that I can bring change in many people's life if I'm going to project and execute things properly. And this is my main, it's a dominator that basically drives me every day.
Fantastic. How is crypto financial currently making an impact within the crypto space?
In 2017 and earlier 2018, we submitted our proposal to Government of Ontario so that they can look into the program and see how we can execute. Because as a dutiful company, we do need to do the due diligence and provide our compliance related documentation to Government of Canada, of course. And in the meanwhile, since we are not operational yet on a mass level or on the automated mode, we are not professional at that point yet, but whoever our ecosystem is, our private investors, we educate them, provide them the training, provide them the consultancy where we believe that they need to know the right thing, and guide them to the right, in the right direction. So right now, what we are trying to do is we are trying to build partnerships, collaborations. We are trying to build long-lasting business relationship with different other entities, business entities. And most importantly, again, it's about serving our investors, clients, people who are coming into this industry. It's about helping them. So whoever is approaching us, we are giving them all the resources that we can in unconditional, environment.
That's fantastic. I'm sure a lot of the audience are probably asking themselves this question right now, based on how much of an impact your business is going to be making. What would you have done if you weren't introduced into crypto, Kamal?
If I was not into crypto, because number one, I really am happy that I got into this industry. Sometimes I feel it's fortunate and at the same time very unfortunate, because it brings a lot of stress, of course, in life. And my fellows would know very well that how stressful it can be at times. But yeah, if I was not a crypto person, I would definitely be working in my industry, which I was trained realtor in my I was trained by my grandfather in my first job. He used to train me in real estate. So yeah, my better grip is in real estate. I love building things. I love construction. I like real estate, and this is the main dominator in my life, if not crypto. I love the other space otherwise.
Amazing. What piece of advice would you give to the audience who would be interested in getting involved within the crypto space?
Like my fellow speakers said, that knowledge is the power. Do your research. And I would say that walk into this industry with a plan. Have a proper incubator around you, a micro incubator. Consult with your friends, consult with your family, consult with your have a financial planner around you, have a proper accountant around you, have a proper lawyer around you, who are your very instant team. And after consulting with all these people, also, of course, go with your own gut, because if you're not happy with something, I bet that you cannot be happy even if you have $10 million cash sitting in your pocket. It will not make you happy if you're not getting all the reasons to be happy. So be very due diligent about the industry. It's volatile, it is scary sometimes. Be ready to lose what is with you. In terms of market can fluctuate and you can lose anything. So you have to be very careful, be diversified, put all your eggs in all the respective baskets properly, and also consider the future of your children if you have, and serve a longer roadmap.
Amazing, fantastic. Kumar, how do people get a hold of you if they would like to learn more about crypto financial?
Everybody is welcome to contact me. We have our website. If they Google Crypto Financial Inc., www.crypto-financial.com, they can contact me through LinkedIn. Feel free to get in touch. Anybody, no restrictions at all. Everybody welcome.
Amazing. Appreciate you so much. Cool. So far, so good. I hope the audience is enjoying this. We have such a huge, amazing lineup of speakers still to come. The next speaker is Uthman Hussein, who is a speaker, a student, and a trader who specializes in bridging the gap between education and trading. Uthman, let me just find you here.
Isaac.
I can't seem to find you on my end.
No.
There you are, Uthman. Hello.
Lovely.
So how are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. Thank you for having me. And also to everyone who's spoken so far, thank you for your insightful comments as we progress through this call.
Appreciate you so much. Uthman, first question I want to ask you is just give us a little bit of a background in terms of your day job, your business that you run on a day-to-day basis.
Okay, so a bit of a backstory. So about 5 months, maybe 6 months ago, I kind of graduated from a petroleum geoscience degree. And then I was thinking, what do I want to do? I really have a passion for technology and especially geoinformatics. So I created this business model of kind of doing a multifaceted based role. So half of it split down the middle, kind of recruitment, and then for the industry, the geospatial industry in particular, and then also doing contractual based work for the industry as well. I've always been fond of kind of data analysis and all these other kind of things, looking at, especially programming language, my favorite being Python. So I have a lot of plans in the future as well for developing things as software service, as well as also doing technical analysis for the cryptocurrency market.
Amazing. That is very interesting. Do you want to tell me, Uthman, how did you get involved in the crypto space?
Yeah, so it'll be quite funny actually to kind of mention. So initially I was at university and I kind of developed this kind of small business. It wasn't really in a business in the sense like everyone's made now. It's like, it was a funny little business where I was kind of selling online games and online game currency to wholesalers. And the payment transactive mechanism in doing so was cryptocurrency at the time. It was not fiat. There was fiat gateways, for example, PayPal at the time, but mainly it was cryptocurrency. So, and back then we had a very small selection of coins. It was more or less just Bitcoin, Ethereum back then, and then a few others. And then obviously I kept that in Electrum wallet, and there was far few ledgers available then, and the kind of technicalities behind the market and the functionalities were very restricted back then. But as the market's grown, we've gone to see more in terms of functionality and more in terms of what's on offer as well.
It's amazing. That's very interesting. I guess the next question I kind of have to ask is, how has crypto changed your life? And don't leave any details out.
Yeah, I'm really grateful for the cryptocurrency, especially it's allowed me to really pursue what's important to me in my life, and not necessarily everything that we want to do. Our ambitions are directly related to finance or money. Some of our goals and ambitions are not intrinsically monetary. So for me, cryptocurrency has allowed me to kind of develop my ideas, develop my brand, build my company, as well as also publishing my research and producing peer-reviewed papers as well. I've got a lifelong ambition of doing a PhD at some point, and in doing so, it's not necessarily the most, you don't necessarily get the most remuneration for publishing papers. So in essence, it just allowed me to kind of stay competitive with my peers, and obviously kind of just save for my future.
Okay. So I guess what I have to ask next is, why are you passionate about crypto then?
Yep, so I really fell in love with the technology when it first came out. It was the whole mechanism in how you transact. And some of I remember back in the day, I don't know if many of you know Ben Grotzel, the guy who was one of the lead machine learning engineers behind the Sophia robot. And he even developed his own cryptocurrency at the time, kind of, and this is the thing, the future, the transactive mechanism of the future is the blockchain, is the cryptocurrency. Like how are you going to pay for a robot to do your work for you? Well, cryptocurrency is the ideal solution for that. You don't have to schedule a fiat payment. Why not have an automated transactive mechanism which relies on mathematics in order to pay for that service for you? Because the future, it might not be 10 years down the line, it might not be 5 years down the line, but at some point in the future, this is the functionality that the market will require. It's like, how do we pay for AI services? How do we pay for other forms of data scientific, any form of scientific service that's required as a software as service? This can definitely be done by a mathematical transactive mechanism such as cryptocurrency.
Okay, that's interesting. So what advice would you give to those who are interested in joining the crypto space?
Okay, first and foremost, it will be always do your own research. Don't take one opinion. Someone tells you, okay, this coin is going to do a 2x, 3x in 2 weeks' time. That's very dangerous, and you have the potential to lose a large sum of money very quickly. What you need to do is you need to do your own due diligence. Look, consult a variety of sources as well, not just one source, but a variety of sources. So you get a holistic opinion about what people see as a near, short-term, mid-term, and long-term prospects for that coin. So because the market is volatile, and some of the speakers have already told you, look, there's potential to make large sums of money, but also there's a chance to lose large sum of monies as well. And this is, and ultimately, what determines what you make the money or if you lose the money is the education that you receive. And the more well-informed you are about the market, the better decisions you'll make, and in turn, the good decisions will lead to higher returns. So if I was going to say anything to anyone, it was like, look, like, be vigilant, don't trust everyone, and also make sure you do all your due diligence and just research the coins. For me, as well, as a starter, I would say leave the leverage out, don't trade, just trade on spot. I got a lot of joy just trading on spot. You don't need to go for the leverage product sometimes. Even the futures are not for everyone. The warrants are not for everyone. So start small, and once you know and you're actually knowledgeable the market, then you can decide if leverage is an option for you.
You seem extremely passionate about being able to help other people within the crypto space. So literally asking you the question I just said, why are you passionate about giving people help about learning about crypto?
Yeah, so for me, it's like, many people have goals, like I said, and many ambitions. And like, some people, they're saving for houses, for example, they want to get on the real estate ladder. So why not? Crypto can facilitate that in the sense that you can grow your portfolio and you can convert your portfolio balance into real estate at a rapid rate. In another way, if you do need a business loan, for example, using CFI, you can get some business loans for very cheap. Like the API offered by some of these organizations are far cheaper than what you receive at a bank. And they're not dependent on your credit score either. They depend on your asset allocation. So it's just lots of things to do. Even if you wanted to earn, for example, a normal ISA, you get 6 to 10%. Some of the staking rewards in the cryptocurrency market go up to about 50%. It just seems like the future of finance to me. Decentralized finance is definitely going to be a key factor in the future.
Cool. Yeah, no, I do have to agree with you on that. All right, cool. If anybody needs to get a hold of you to learn more about the incredible things that you do, how do they get a hold of you, Uthman?
So I'm always available on LinkedIn. So if anyone wants to shoot me a connection over LinkedIn, I'm happy to discuss regarding the market and what the market sentiment is right now. And also by email as well. If you do reach out to me on LinkedIn, you want my email address, I'm happy to deliver that as well.
Thank you so much, Uthman. I really appreciate you and your time, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And I hope the audience is having a wonderful event so far. I am just looking for my next speaker, who is a crypto activist and a social entrepreneur. His name is Faisal Daniels, and he helps newcomers to the crypto space to safely find their way through the pitfalls and anxieties, at the same time as sharing legitimate, tested, proven opportunities for miners, trading, and investing. Faisal, you there?
I am indeed. Thank you very much, Zach. That's about in a nutshell.
Thank you so much. So how are you doing today, Faisal? Good day so far?
Yes, absolutely. The chill of the other day has been overtaken by some rain, but yes, the rain is always welcome. I'm also a barefoot farmer, so I take everything.
Amazing, fantastic. So Faisal, I really want to ask you, what is your business?
Zach, that is an interesting question, because my business up to March 2020 was, well, let me first say, I spent about 3 decades in the public sector as a political advisor and speechwriter to presidents and ministers and members of parliament. And then I realized, actually, I'm just getting tired. I'm not getting satisfaction. So I got a little leather handcraft business, and that was much more rewarding and soul feeding. But then March 2020 happened, and I had to close down my business. I had to sell it or lose it. So I managed to sell it. And I remember that I had some Bitcoin somewhere from 2017. And I'm a networker, professional networker as well as John. And I've been following Robert Kiyosaki and the likes, and he has consistently been talking about Bitcoin, which I got into kicking and screaming very hesitantly. But right now, my business, I had to reinvent myself. I had to re-educate myself. Basically, it is self-designed, and therefore I call myself a crypto activist. I've always been an activist from high school, and I've always been a social entrepreneur. I don't believe in the old way of making money. So yeah, my business is as a crypto activist, finding legitimate opportunities and doing the proper research and due diligence and testing of platforms. My business is finding these opportunities, literally chasing them. Like in the cannabis space, you find these strain hunters. So literally finding legitimate opportunities, testing out, and then sharing them, with the group that I'm a part of globally.
Cool. Tell us, Faisal, how has the crypto space changed your life?
Well, that's a really interesting question. It has made me realize that my uncomfortable and half awkward feeling about the world of finance and fiat and the paper money system is really broken. I've been thinking about this for a really long time. It's really broken in the sense that you have about 5% of the world's people owning 95% of the world's paper money. And you have 95% of the world's people owning 5%, sharing 5% of the world's paper money. So in a sense, I mean, that is indicative of something that's not right. It's broken, it's tired. So the cryptocurrency basically affords literally anyone. And I always look for this as an activist. How is this relevant to the lowest common denominator? So the person that lives on the street or sweeps the street, the cryptocurrency space offers something for that person. And that excites me, because it means that things don't have to remain the way that they are, because we have actually accepted them. We accept the guy that lives under the bridge, but it's a person. And so I think the newspaper article heading that I read the other day is that Satoshis are becoming important than Bitcoin, because I mean, in South Africa, you're going to be paying 1 million rand for 1 Bitcoin, but actually you can buy 1 Satoshi for 20 bucks. And anybody can afford 20 bucks. Anybody can get their hands on 20 bucks worth of Bitcoin, even if you're unemployed, because you can go and sing a song for 20 bucks. You can carry somebody's groceries from the store to their car for 20 bucks. And so you can get involved, and that really is the fact that the blockchain and cryptocurrency is providing an alternative that is more humane and it is more fair. And to me, it's just more beautiful, It's the way that life is supposed to be.
Okay, now I have to really ask you, Faisal, how is your business making an impact within the crypto space?
That's exactly. And again, I have to preface the answer with, because I am an activist, my business and my role is self-designed. All of my services are free of charge. So it sounds a little bit counterintuitive, right? But all of the service offerings that I have are based on affiliate marketing, community building, and therefore my rewards are not from my clients, but from the platforms that I pass. So it is still lucrative for me, right? So the services that we do, and so first of all, the objective of my service, one of the objectives is to drive mass adoption, because mass adoption is critical. Mass adoption will make sure that the Bitcoin standard, and people have to listen to this carefully, that the Bitcoin standard will sooner rather than later replace the dollar standard globally. So in other words, my 5-year-old daughter that lives in Canada will be paying X Satoshis for a coffee and not, I don't know, $5 or whatever, because it won't be $5, it will be a couple of Satoshis, right? So what we do, my business is part of a loose associate of crypto activists around the world. What we do, pooling our skills and expertise, we do research, we hunt for these opportunities, we do proper, extensive 3-month-long due diligence on these various platforms. We test return on investment by putting 100,000 in for a month to see if the promise on the return on investment is what it is or what it claims. And if it does, then we create awareness around this platform. We have a synopsis of the skills that's required. We do education, we do coaching, we do support. And yeah, I mean, we take people's hands until they are able to take other people's hands, I guess, that's what we do. So literally for Joe Public, the guy that knows nothing and the guy that knows everything. I mean, we have a basket of opportunities for literally everybody. A guy with a huge, a massive crypto portfolio, like 1,000 Bitcoin, we can show him how to multiply that. And somebody with, just a growing portfolio, we can obviously help them. And somebody with nothing, with no cryptocurrency at all, we can help them as well.
Cool. So I have to ask you, what advice would you give to those who are just getting involved within the crypto space?
I would give them the same advice that I gave myself. This is what I said to myself: Faisal, be skeptical. The world needs more skeptics, not cynics, skeptics. Be skeptical, but don't be stupid. All right? So the first thing, I think I'm agreeing with everyone else on this matter, do your own research and start with YouTube videos titled Blockchain for Dummies, Cryptocurrency for Dummies. Start there. That's where that's where I started, right? Educate yourself. Reach out to people you already trust, and ask them, about their opinion and so on. And if they are not into the cryptocurrency space, but they know somebody who is, then ask them for that person, and also don't allow your broke neighbor to give you advice, because people are scared of new things. And if I go to my neighbor and I say, I want to get into Bitcoin, and he goes, oh, Bitcoin is a scam. I mean, like you actually get this kind of feedback. Don't ask your broke neighbor. Like, ask Robert Kiyosaki, ask anyone else. But it must be based on trust. You must be introduced to any platform by someone you already trust. Otherwise, you have to build the relationship of trust before you join in a platform, that a stranger is inviting you to. And I also want to say, never invest more than you are willing to call themselves crypto activists and enthusiasts and trainers and so on. And also relax, you are going to lose. I lost 3 times. Pray that you lose early on, because that steals you. That feeling forward is the part of life that we don't like, but is the only thing that gets us forward.
Thank you so much, Faisal. I really appreciate you. Final thing, if anybody wants to get a hold of Faisal and continue picking his incredible brain, how do they do so, Faisal?
You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. My name is Faisal. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. My name is Faisal. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. My name is Faisal. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. My name is Faisal. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. My name is Faisal. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. My name is Faisal. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. My name is Faisal. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. My name is Faisal. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. My name is Faisal. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. My name is Faisal. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. My name is Faisal. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. My name is Faisal. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. My name is Faisal. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter Yeah, I'm on LinkedIn. I love hooking up with people on LinkedIn. People can also email me. My email is faisal.daniels@gmail.com. That is faizal.daniels with an S at gmail.com.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to. Can I just say as a last word, when people ask me what I do, I sometimes say I have coffee all day with amazing people in amazing places, but this is more true. I look for and build networks while other people are looking for jobs.
That's amazing. I can relate. Thank you so much, Faisal. I appreciate you. On to the next
Thanks.
speaker, who is the founder of Tech Up Labs, who are entrepreneurs and developers who know what they're building. They have consistent feedback loops from the user to development team and vice versa. And the speaker himself is the wonderful Chirag Lafia. Chirag, how are you doing today?
Hey, Jack. Thank you so very much for having me and those who are watching. Really appreciate your time. And thank you so very much, John, for your initiative, by the way. Without your initiative, it wouldn't be possible to be all together here. So, yeah.
Thank you so much, Chirag. Can you tell us and the world a little bit about your business, please?
Absolutely. So we at TechUp Labs, we try to help developers and entrepreneurs to know what they are building, right? Because there is a general tendency when people build some sort of softwares or build some new technologies, they always build based on their mindset that they have. We generally need to look at from the end customer side or the user side, right? What is best and what is right for them, not what is right for the few set of people. So we help those developers, those who are trying to build a software, to have a constant feedback mechanism through our product called Feedbackery. And we are trying to integrate with the blockchain technology so that usually if you see people are asking for the feedback, right? But there is no incentive after that. And where there is incentive, there could be a wrong feedback because people are just giving feedback just to gain something. So we are trying to disrupt this feedback industry such a way that people get fair share, not false information. That's what we are doing.
Cool. Tell me, Chirag, how did you get involved in the crypto space?
Oh, that's interesting story, by the way. So in 2015, by the way, I'm from India and I was in Bangalore, which is the Silicon Valley of India. In 2015, I was there and I wanted to transfer money to my friend that time. And I couldn't do it for some reason. There was some technical issues from the bank side. I don't know why, but it was so frustrating experience for me. The moment I came back to home, luckily, I would say that I Googled, like, how can I transfer money without bank? That was the bingo moment, I would say, because I don't imagine if anybody could Google such a way. But yeah, I Googled it and Bitcoin white paper popped up in the search result because that's what Bitcoin is all about, right? And as I'm into computer industry and I have a computer science background, so I could easily understand what is Bitcoin. But yeah, it requires several revisions on the white paper to read. But that's where I got hooked into Bitcoin because there was no one in between, right? And I don't need to be dependent on anything, right? Bitcoin is up 24/7. Bank says that, well, we cannot do any FT sometimes, right? Or on weekend. Yeah, that was the reason I got hooked up. And ever since, it's always a crypto, something new, always learning, and nowadays NFT. So
Absolutely, that literally is it. Tell me, how has crypto changed your life? Because it sounds like it really has.
yeah, if you be very, very realistic here, right? That crypto industry as a whole right now is in the era where internet was in 1990s, those days, right? Where people were not aware that much. They were thinking that internet is the future, but the adoption of internet was not that huge at that moment, right? So if you say like how life has been changed, it has been changed through our own sphere in the mind, right? We think like in future we will do transactions with blockchain, we will do even real estate deals with the blockchains, so there is no one in between. So in terms of mentality, yes, absolutely. I can now see the future where I don't need to be dependent on any middleman. I don't need to give too much power to any one person or any one institute, right, in between. And that means we all are in it together. So if you go back in the history as well, like, I mean, if anybody asks, like, what is something here for the crypto and why we should do, like, just learn history. You will realize how much crypto is important for us nowadays, because we know what happened in past, right? So those are all the parameters that is giving us a huge and a very high importance, I would say.
Amazing. That's very interesting. Thank you so much for sharing. Why are you so passionate about crypto, Chirag?
I'm passionate for several reasons. Let me start with the very important and the first reason, which is it is trustless. Meaning, as I said, right, I don't need to be dependent on any one person or any one institute or any one single node of power, right? If you see the world right now, well, earlier we were not divided into these countries, right? And then people started fighting with each other. That we have now countries, and I'm seeing will be global citizens soon, right? And the part of the reason we'll be able to do it is because our own consensus, right? We don't need someone to be on us as powerful to make a decision for us, I would say, right? uh, the same thing in the crypto. So let's say the other day I was reading, someone came up with the concept that I can literally know if I'm getting any food from any warehouses, right? From where it is getting, what is the temperature, what is the place, at what time, and everything I can know, which is so cool. Like I don't need to worry about any corruption. So it's so trustless, number one. Second, I have a choice here. Like I can be 100% private, I can be 100% public, right? So I mean, the other day I was reading, there's a saying like in future, uh, everybody wants to be anonymous for 15 minutes because they just want to be themselves, right? They want to shout out and say the truth, whatever they want to think about, and they in return they don't want to get imprisoned, right? So it's a transparent, at the same time it is private too. So these are the reasons I'm very, very passionate about crypto. When I say passionate, I didn't mean to say like all those online gurus were saying like be passionate. No, not that way, but be very realistic and see some of the problems that old mathematics couldn't solve, or the old method couldn't solve, that can be solved with the blockchain. So that's the reason I'm passionate about.
Okay, now I really have to ask you, because that was such a beautiful answer. What would you have been doing if it wasn't for the crypto space?
I would definitely be into the computer science industry as what I have been doing. So if it is not blockchain, maybe something I would try to find out or figure it out, I would say. If you ask me, apart from this, my day-to-day job or my profession, right, what I would be doing, I'm very much interested to learn about history and the events that happened in past, because for some reason we human beings are so vulnerable that history often repeats, but it rhymes, right? People say. So to know what's going to happen in future, if you just go back in past, we can find so many answers. So I would be just learning history, I would say, and just sharing my knowledge with others, like, look, this has happened, so be careful. Yeah, that's what it is.
Cool.
Yeah.
Great answer. I really want to summarize this because you seem like such a passionate person. Why are you so passionate about helping people learn about the crypto space?
Good question, I would say, because there should be always a clear reasoning behind what you are doing, right? So if I say like why someone could bring Bitcoin into this world in 2009, and the answer is someone in the past transferred the knowledge of this computing, cryptography, and all this, right? It's we are so mortal, right, that whatever the experiences we have, our moral responsibility is to pass it on to the next generation so they don't make the same mistake, right? They don't go through the same path. They may improve it, they may change it. And the other thing I really believe is, look, when we live in someone's house, right, we used to pay rent to the house owner, right? We are living on earth, and to whom we should pay the rent. So yeah, the answer is let's help each other. Let's pass this knowledge to the next generation, right? Let them move forward, because whatever we have been going through, they don't need to go through. Obviously, they can have a better experience. That's why I'm always happy to help anyone who is in need.
And what advice would you give to people getting involved in this industry?
So, I mean, prior to me, so many awesome speakers have already said so many things, right, to newbies. On top of this, I would just say one thing is be very authentic in your own actions with the crypto. If you don't know something, no need to try harder because other people's are doing, right? Be very authentic in that. What you understand, you will definitely do very well. So try to understand it. If you cannot, there are so many materials available. Yeah, one thing I will definitely say is don't go with any clickbaits, right? Like, okay, this coin gonna be 10x soon, invest. No, please don't do that, I would say to all the newbies. Also, please try to stay away from the scamsters. So those are all the like general advices, I would say. But yes, at the end, just be authentic and know what you are doing. That's very important.
Cool. Chirag, thank you so much. That was such a beautiful conversation. I really appreciate you, my friends, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
The next speaker that we have is Christina Madai, who is the managing partner of Lava Trust. And Christina is very dedicated to providing institutional and accredited investors with curated, exclusive, and investment opportunities which deliver individualized investment portfolios and customized offerings. Their goal is to have you alongside them as their partners. So let's get started. Christina, hello, and how are you doing?
Hi, so well today. Thank you for having us. First, I just wanted to say a really quick special thank you to John Sealey and his team for hosting such an informative event, and to everyone for joining. I'm really looking forward to connecting with the attendees after the call.
Thank you so much. Christina, could you kindly tell everybody how, and I can imagine this may be a long-winded answer because you've been involved in such a long time, but how did you get involved in the crypto space, please?
Well, I think my passion for being a smart investor really started early with an immigrant father. He instilled a work ethic like no other into me. So I was actually involved on the ground floor of Bitcoin, and I've been along for some wild rides. And I was interested in finances early on. So I started saving and investing in stocks as a teenager. And I was always interested in upcoming technology. So I found out about Bitcoin because I was part of a mastermind tech research group in 2007, 8, and 9. So in 2009, I first got involved because I'm a hippie here in Vancouver, Canada, tree hugger, and someone proposed it to me as a green technology. I heard that when your computer is off and asleep in the corner, it still drains energy. And the suggestion was that while my computer is asleep, I can download this program called Bitcoin and volunteer my computer power in exchange for doing math on the network. I'll be gifted an internet coin. Thus, my experience and time with Bitcoin began. So I guess I really liked how it gave the power back to the people instead of banks holding all the cards. If you're involved with tech, you're able to pay for web hosting prices monthly, 1 Bitcoin a month. I remember paying just to host a website. So
That's amazing.
Yeah, those were the early days.
Tell me, Christine, how has crypto changed your life?
Wow, to me, crypto is everything. Like the other female speaker, I can't imagine a life without it. It sparks a joy within me. I just can't explain. For me, it's home, it's a community, it's an experience, it's a culture. It's including just anyone who's curious enough to ask, and just to try it out. So I like that it blends a number of communities and helps bring people together in such a neat way. So for me, my deepest interests are always learning, constant learning, and this space helps me stay on top of technology and just always have that opportunity to connect with new people I wouldn't have met otherwise.
That's amazing. Could you kindly tell me, why are you so passionate about crypto? Because you seem extremely passionate about the industry.
I guess for me, I had the experience to live in rural Hungary as a teenager. So going from Canadian with Canadian money to living where people would be lucky to have $50 a month to spend. I really saw the difference between those who have and those who don't. And so for me, crypto was a way to balance and to take power away from the banks. It just didn't seem right. One of the speakers spoke earlier about the 5%. And so for me, that's a huge passion about crypto is its inclusiveness. Everyone can get in. So there are lots of different aspects of it, the ease in which you can send money internationally. So banks can close down on the weekends, but someone might need to eat. And so that really appealed to me. The community of gifting, not a lot of people know or remember, but in the early days, I think 85–90% of Bitcoin was just gifted. Freely given. Hey, here, try this or learn about this. So the passion about sharing and community-driven wealth was just phenomenal.
Cool. I know that you are involved in the real estate NFT space. So I have to just ask, because I've had a number of questions in the chat pop up. What's an NFT, Christina?
A couple of ways we can describe it. We can, define it. So non-fungible token, but for me, anyone who has a kid at home playing on Minecraft, you picture all these kids with skins and how they buy things within a game. To me, that's what an NFT is. It's a way to earn money on something that couldn't otherwise have been monetized.
Fantastic. And what's your business currently doing with real estate and NFT? Because I know that's an interesting one. Probably off the record, but if you can give us a little glimpse, I'll be super grateful.
Sure. Yeah, I'd be happy to speak to that. So we've had I'm so lucky to be able to work with a partner who's been coding a blockchain technology as early as 2015. He started coding, it's a title and record keeping format or platform, and we currently sell that to governments globally. So anytime a house buys, sells, or transacts, now if a typhoon or some flood comes and wipes out the physical records, we've got that ledgered on the blockchain. So we've been in the real estate space for a long time. Within that now, and our interest being firmly in real estate, it's something you can touch, you can feel, you can see, and how do we meld that with technology? So we are developing a bridge. We're able to bridge the NFT market with real estate, and this is all off the record, obviously, but we're at the forefront in that industry. So we're looking forward to rolling out that new department of our company early in Q2.
That's amazing. Very exciting. So people really do keep your eye on that one. Christina, what advice would you give to those who are interested in joining the crypto blockchain space?
Perfect. Well, I'd actually like to take it up a notch, guys. And anyone who is attending is obviously interested. You've already done your research. You're part of this call. So along with everyone else, never invest more than you can afford to lose right off the top. But for first-time buyers into crypto, I do like to recommend doing the easiest, fastest, most secure way to get into the game. I think it's fun. And I advise everyone go to an ATM, physically buy Bitcoin. So to find the nearest ATM, they're found in most major cities globally. It takes you $100, whatever you can afford to start with, and follow the machine for the instructions. It'll take your money and you just tap your phone, use a free Bitcoin app, and follow the instructions. You do want to back up your app. Don't forget that part. But once you've got that, you can always go on bitcoin.com. There is an ATM finder near you. So find an ATM. But I just do recommend going with a trusted friend, of course, your first time, and be safe with your money like you would at a bank. And I would highlight, I personally like to treat cryptocurrency like the Olympics. So Bitcoin is gold, have some gold, get your skin in the game with Bitcoin, number one. It's the original coin, it's a piece of art, no matter how little, get some in. And then you can look at your bronze and your silver coins, and then all the other little attendees. Great, do your research there, absolutely, but get some Bitcoin.
Okay, that just blew my mind. Can I literally go to an ATM, or as the British call it, cash point, and purchase Bitcoin?
Absolutely. You haven't done that yet? Go.
No.
Grab a cup of coffee and buy some Bitcoin. What are you doing?
Wow.
I even looked before the call, and there are, I think, 10 to 20 in Poland, so no excuses.
Thank you for letting me know, because for the audience that do not know, Zach is in Poland, so thank you so much for stating my geographical location. I'm sure
sorry.
all my haters are going to be coming after me soon, so that's cool.
But Zach, please don't do it until you actually finish this call, okay?
Yeah, all right. I'm not going anywhere, John. We've got 4 more speakers to go through.
Exactly.
Cool. I've got a couple more questions for you, Christina. Sorry.
That's okay.
I wanted to know what foremost got you into the in the first place.
I'm going to have to ask you to repeat the question. It cut out as soon as you asked.
Sorry, what got you involved in the industry, in the crypto industry in the first place?
You know, it's funny. It actually just fell in my lap. So from all of my early time in with coding, so I was involved with the first video streaming coding platform before YouTube came out. So that's what I was involved with. And then YouTube came out. So we had to shift focus. But with the early adoption, my passion behind bringing balance to those who have, those who don't, I took a break in crypto. We actually, it was kind of a scary time, not a lot of people talk about, but with all the regulations, it was unknown which country is going to ban crypto next, which bank, what's going to happen. So I flew under the radar for a long time. I never posted online about it. I really hid under the radar for about 10 years. I just came out under my rock a year ago and talked about it publicly again. But to that end, I guess I just started talking about it more and more, and people saw the value of my early connections, and they said, hey, can you hook me up with this person or that person? So I really just started connecting people, and masterminds came to me and they said, hey, here's a product, can you help? And that's how we started our company. Even we just have some amazing opportunities, amazing people, and we're able to bridge the gap between inventors and investors.
Cool.
Yeah.
Why are you so passionate about helping people learn about the crypto industry?
Well, I have lots of reasons. So again, for me, bringing balance to those who are maybe not as financially secure. I think women in the crypto space is a huge component for me. So teaching others, letting us females know it's okay to be in the space. Let's represent, let's stand up and have our voices heard. So bringing balance for sure, sending in money internationally. Yeah, I don't know, with all the ways that it can be applied, like I said, I can't see my life without it.
That's amazing. Thank you so much. And how do people contact you if they want to continue this conversation with you after this live event?
Thanks for asking. We'd be really happy to connect. So add me on LinkedIn. My name's Christina Mai. You can find our company at lavatrust.com, or you can email us at admin@lavatrust.com. I'll go directly to our team.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Christina. I hope you enjoyed the rest of your day in Canada. And the next speaker, which I have the pleasure of introducing, is the Chief Marketing Officer at Fintellics. Now, for those of you who don't know Fintellics, they are a group of passionate software engineers who fell in love with finance. With the rise of big data, machine learning, AI technology, blockchain technology, they truly believe fintech is the future. Fintellics provides consulting services to businesses, and their specialities are big data, blockchain, machine learning, and full stack development. The speaker is speech impediment kicking in. Over to Matthew Thomas Stewart, the speaker. Hi, Matthew. How are you? Oh, you're on mute. No, you're not. But for some reason, I can't hear you. I mean, hey, we're almost like an hour and 45 minutes in, and the fact that this is the first technical difficulty that we're having, like, not too bad. Matthew?
Test, is it working now?
There we go. Hello, Matthew. How are you doing?
Excellent. I'm great. Thank you so much for having me here. It's a pleasure. Excited.
I really appreciate you joining, Matthew. Can you kindly tell us a little bit about Fintellics?
Yes, of course. So at Fintellics, what we are is we're an emerging technology software and web and mobile app development company. And we're also an AWS advanced tier consulting partner that specializes in really developing customized solutions that utilize emerging technologies such as artificial intelligence, blockchain, and cloud computing, as well as integrating these technologies together and really building them with scalability in mind.
Cool. Tell us, how did you get involved in crypto?
Honestly,
crypto blockchain.
Yeah, honestly, just in the beginning, it was really about saying yes to every opportunity or experience that really, came my way. Before this, I was actually the co-founder of a theater production company, but wow. I quickly became fascinated with the potential blockchain has really to, eliminate the unnecessary middleman in a wide variety of industries. And I was also really interested with how blockchain really uses a decentralized peer-to-peer system to create many copies of one chain so that if one of them does happen to be, tampered with, it will immediately correct itself to match the majority other copies on the chain. And the more I researched about blockchain, the more interested from there I really became.
That's amazing. Do you want to tell us why are you so passionate about the crypto blockchain space?
That is a great question. And I would have to say that I'm really passionate about blockchain because I truly believe that it has the potential to make the world a more secure and transparent place that truly benefits everybody, not just a small percentage of the world's population. And I think it can help with everything from, as we've seen, from humanitarianism, helping to reduce fraud and corruption by making documents impossible to be tampered with and by ensuring safe voting. It can even improve health by improving and protecting supply chains. And of course, it also helps to, make businesses more efficient.
That's fantastic. Great answer. So Matthew, what advice would you give to those who are interested in joining the crypto blockchain space?
I think everyone's done a great job at covering it. So the one additional piece of advice that I would really add, and Christina kind of touched on this, is I would have to say the best piece of advice would be to get your feet wet and your hands dirty. If you're interested in crypto, experiment with crypto and join community events like this one and surround yourself with like-minded people. Again, like Christina said, don't invest more than you can afford to. And if you're more curious about, say, the blockchain technology, then there are also many great community events around the world that you can join digitally now, or even in person once restrictions loosen up a bit. I have to say, this is one of the most open communities I've ever been a part of.
Cool, that was super detailed, which really makes me ask the question, what got you involved in the crypto space?
Yeah,
in the blockchain space.
What got me involved? I'd have to say, once I got involved in the space, I'd have to say attending many, many blockchain focused events, like again, this one, networking with people, and again, saying yes to every opportunity or experience that really came my way. That's really what got me into the industry, was just saying yes to everything. Every time someone brought an opportunity my way or introduced something new, I just said yes to give it a try. And that kind of led me into this space.
That's amazing. Now, I need to circle back to Fintellix a little bit. How is the Fintellix business currently making an impact within the industry?
Yeah, so what we really do at Fintellix is we help to, as a lot of people have said, we help to bridge the gap between industry and technology. So by helping startups that have raised their first round or even first few rounds of funding to really implement these emerging technologies such as blockchain at both a competitive price and a competitive timeline with the scalability in mind. This is so that they can really have a working product that they can use to start gaining real traction, and also wow investors with, and able to raise more funds and really move on to the next phase. And we're especially excited when we really get to work on projects where we can implement blockchain with other technologies such as artificial intelligence and cloud. The reason is because this is when we really think that we get to contribute the most to the space, because we get to be a part of the research and development of blockchain technology and help push it that extra step further.
That's incredible. Thank you so much. Final question I have for you is, why are you so passionate about helping people learn about the crypto blockchain space?
Because it's interesting and exciting. And the more people that really learn about it, the faster advancements can happen. If one person who didn't know about crypto or blockchain yesterday learns about it today, and they have an innovative idea that can really make noise, then that can really do strides. Even if you're not the one developing the solution to an innovative idea, then you can really still play a key role in shaping the future just by starting to understand the fundamentals enough to use crypto. Because honestly, it can't advance without people there to use it. I see blockchain as a technology truly for the people, and it solves a lot of the pain points that we have today as a society.
Amazing. Really appreciate your time today, Matthew. Thank you so much. If anybody wants to get in touch with yourself or Fintellix, what do they do?
Feel free to add me on MySpace. I'm kidding, but
I love that.
You can reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'm sure my LinkedIn is in the description, or you can also reach out to us at fintellix.com.
Amazing. That's fantastic. That comment regarding MySpace just cracked me up so much. Thank you. Cool. So over on to the next speaker, who is the founder of Bitcoin Capital Management, which offers the digital asset consulting and education. They help individuals and companies get started with their digital assets. It is Andy Laponte. Andy, how are you today?
Hi, Zach. Thank you for having me on, and for all the other great speakers as well. This is a great event, and thank you for pulling everything together with you and John.
Appreciate you so much, Andy. Thank you so much. Do you want to tell us a little bit about your business, please?
Yeah, Bitcoin Capital Management, LLC. We're, as you mentioned, we're a digital asset consulting and coaching and education firm where we help individuals get started with digital assets, but we also are strategic partners for companies who want to implement blockchain as well as cryptocurrency in their short-term, mid-term, and long-term plans, because blockchain is a phenomenal technology, crypto is a phenomenal technology, but is it right for someone's business? It may be or it may not be, because some people want to put a square peg into a round hole, and blockchain is a solution for everything. A cryptocurrency payment is a solution for everything. And in all honesty, it is, but we help see through the clutter of our clients so they can implement blockchain and cryptocurrency into their business models for short-term, mid-term, and long-term.
All right, all right, all right. Very fascinating. Andy, how did you get involved in the crypto space?
Actually, that's a funny story. It's cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, and a California roll. A friend of mine was actually working at a sushi bar just a couple miles from my house several years ago. And I still remember going to the sushi bar because I enjoy California rolls and sushi. But anyways, he was a sushi chef at the time, and he was telling me how another one of his friends was getting involved in mining Bitcoin. And we still remember that conversation where he and I were talking about Bitcoin, enjoying a California roll. And I just remember once we finished that California roll, I put my chopstick down. That opened a whole new world for me in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency.
Nice. So I guess the next question I have to ask you is, how has crypto changed your life?
Crypto itself is really opened the ability for a community, because the nice thing about cryptocurrency and blockchain, it's an opportunity to be part of a massive change, not only in the financial world, but in every niche moving forward. So how it's changed my life, it's allowed me to more networking, number one, but number two, use my talents and skills and my team's talent and skills to really foster in new technology that's going to be evolutionize the world in many different niches.
Amazing. I do have to ask you then, what advice would you give to those that are interested in joining the crypto blockchain space?
Well, and that's a great question. Before getting involved in crypto and in blockchain, I spent 15 years as a registered investment advisor, Series 7 stockbroker, and mutual fund wholesaler. So I do have the financial backing and training of being trained and talking with some of the top money managers in the world as a mutual fund wholesaler. And what I'm going to say now, it's not financial advice. Again, with my financial background, I do have to make that disclaimer. But prior to investing any money, first and foremost, for anybody listening, no matter what your experience is, you need to have a disciplined approach. And what I mean by that is, okay, anyone who's on the video today, grab a pencil, grab a piece of paper, and write this down. At the top of the piece of paper, write down, what is my investment criteria? This is your parameters of how you're going to invest your money into cryptocurrency. And what it does, as I mentioned, it provides a disciplined approach to investing. And here are some questions that you'd want to write down as suggestions, of course. Number one, what's the market capitalization of the cryptocurrencies that I want to invest into? Number two, does the cryptocurrency have a white paper or a roadmap? In a white paper or roadmap, you can easily get that from the community, the Reddit forums, and so on and so forth. What's the roadmap? What's the vision of the development team? Number three, how skilled is the development team? Do they have a background in programming, as well as do they actually communicate with the community? Because communication is very, very important from a development team to the investor, which you'll be investing your money into. And then also the next question is, does a coin or a token solve a real world problem? If it doesn't solve a real world problem, or they don't have quote unquote strategic partners that are implementing their blockchain, that's a criteria that you need to make a decision on. For example, Ethereum, they just the European banks just placed $121 million bond issuance on the Ethereum blockchain. I mean, that's a pretty good strategic partner there. And then finally, what is the liquidity of the tokens or the coins that you want to invest into? How liquid is it? So for example, if you want to invest $1,000 or 1,000 pesos or whatever your local currency is, are you going to move the market on yourself, because there's little liquidity? So those are some important things to take a look at to get started. And then number two, what you'd want to do too is, again, on your piece of paper, and create a pyramid. And I call it the crypto allocation pyramid. And I'm going to show this a little bit closer to the video, to the camera there. And what you want to do is break that into 3 tiers. The bottom tier, 50 to 60% of your portfolio should be in the blue chip cryptos or the gold crypto that was mentioned earlier. 20 to 30% want to be in your penny cryptos. And then the top 5% of your investment allocation pyramid would be into your ICOs, your yield farming, your really high risk positions, for example. And let me take a step back. Your blue chip cryptos may be in the top 10% of market capitalization, or how large that specific token or coin is. Bitcoin, Ethereum, those are in the top 10. And then of course, in your penny cryptos, your 20 to 30% of your asset allocation, that would be in your 10 to 40 market capitalization. And you can see how big a cryptocurrency is, or how large it is accepted into the marketplace, by going to coinmarketcap.com. You can sort by capitalization, you can sort by a lot of different information, but that's the first thing that I would suggest if anyone wants to get started is, number one, create an investment criteria. Number two, answer some of those questions that I shared with you. And then number three, create your crypto allocation pyramid, because what it does, it gives you a disciplined approach. You're not going to get caught up in the FOMO or the fear of missing out. And our own fear and greed, that's going to allow you to position your portfolio for short-term, mid-term, and long-term growth.
Thank you, Andy. I really appreciate that. That was super knowledgeable. And if anybody wants to get a hold of Andy, what do they do? How do they get in contact with you, Andy?
Yep. They can visit bitcoincapitalmanagement.com. And I do have a downloadable PDF of what we just talked about. So you can go to, and then also my LinkedIn profile, which is in the description as well.
Thank you, Andy. Really appreciate your time today. That was super knowledgeable. And on to the next speaker, who, interestingly enough for a lot of you guys, is an indoor cleaning services provider by day and a crypto activist by night. Even Worrell has spent the past 5 years learning about absolutely everything regarding cryptocurrency and blockchain, and is one of the most knowledgeable brains within the industry. Let me just pull up his screen. Hello, Stephen. How are you today?
Hey there, everybody. Hey, it's great to be here. Thank you very much for the opportunity. And Zach, I don't know if I'm one of the brightest minds in the business. That's very lofty things.
That's biased. That's biased. I say that because he has taught me almost everything I need to know about this industry. So I have to give credit where credit's due. So, good question for you, Stephen. Let's just dive in, right? Because people kind of at this stage have a very good some knowledge about the industry and crypto and everything. Can you kindly describe 4 types of tokens for me?
Sure, of course, yeah. And I like to even just sort of reference a bit back to what Andy was talking about. If you're going to go, we're all going to be starting to put some form of value into these tokens. And everybody's got all different kinds of, oh, there's an ICO this or there's that. But I think one of the things that a lot of folks don't talk about is, what does the token do? What are these tokens? What are their real functions? And I think generally there are 4 that are easy to sort of think of. When you think about investing in them, you want to think about, what do these do? How will they benefit me? Or how will they benefit the ecosystem? And probably the first one, the easiest one to start with, would be as a currency. And traditionally, we would think Bitcoin, arguably the only true currency that's out there. And when we view a currency, you can think of it in different ways. You can think of it as a bearer asset, a peer-to-peer cash system, which is, of course, the title of the white paper. And then sometimes we think about it as buying coffee. And I think that'll be very relative to where you are globally. In some ways, we wouldn't really be using Bitcoin as a day-to-day currency in some areas, and in other ways, yes, we're definitely going to be using that. But another way I was also sort of think about, I would add to that would be things like mana and sand. These are two currency out of metaverses like Decentraland and the Sandbox. These will also start to become more and more prolific, where you can use different ways to interact with different communities, different blockchains, etc. So yeah, anything that'll be viewed as a stored of value primarily. The next one beyond that would then be protocols. They tend to be the next ones you want to think of. And here you want to think about primarily Ethereum is one of the biggest protocols that are out there. There's also things like Polkadot and Cardano. And an easy way to sort of think of these is they're kind of like an app store in a way. So you can go to Google or you can go to iOS or what have you. And in these app stores, there's all these different cool programs and different apps you can use. It's very similar here. Things you'll find on Ethereum, you won't find on Polkadot, or you won't find on Cardano because there's not a lot of interoperability yet. But these are platforms, and remember, platforms oftentimes can have a greater market value than an asset. So you want to see where that's kind of going to be going. EOS is another one. NEO is another one. And I think we're going to see these kind of go up and down through the market curve, through the market cap curve as time progresses. Another one that I think is very interesting are asset-backed tokens. One that's of note lately is the NBA player Spencer Dinwiddie. He tokenized his entire contract and put it out to the market that people can now buy a portion of that contract and then continue to get value as he outflows that to you. Another way, this is a more traditional legacy finance type of asset structure. It's much more like a security or a bond. You could even think of this as a traditional commodity, like a representation of oil or a representation of soybeans or grains or even gold or silver itself, or diamonds. I know a group that has a coin that is backed literally to physical diamonds. So these are very much one that a lot of people are starting to come into the space. And then lastly, and I think probably one of the most revolutionary ones is called a pass-through token. And what these are, you can sort of think of, if anyone's familiar with Binance, the exchange, and they have a token called BNB. Now, these will form two functions. One will act as a sort of a reward program, like rewards, like a travel points or what have you. And you'll get that on Binance if you hold their coin, and you can use that to get discounts on trading fees, etc. It will also give you access to special events or special new products or services that they're offering, such as an NFT marketplace is one of the new very big ones, or staking pools or what have you. So they'll add value to the token that way. One of the other interesting things that Binance is doing to increase the value of their token is that they are taking positive cash flow and they're buying back their tokens and essentially burning them, which will then raise the value of the token. So the longer that you hold that token, the more value you're going to be able to get from it. So it makes a lot more, this would be very similar to a sinking fund, or if you were out to go and buy an annuity. Thank you. Sorry, that kind of lost me there for a second. So an annuity or a sinking fund would be something like this as well. Those tend to be the four major ones, and they do tend to get confused. Everybody seems to think a token is a token. A token is not a token. They all have different functions, different values, just like money does today. A US dollar has a different value than a euro, and an SDR, IMF money, has a different value than a day-to-day working currency. So it's very similar here, and it's one of those things that kind of gets glossed over.
Wow, I definitely learned quite a lot in that short space of time. Thank you so much. Quick questions for you. I'm going to quick fire some questions at you. What got you into the industry, Stephen?
Sure. Yeah. Basically, I've been in, well, after I got out of the military after the Gulf War in 92, around 1994, I started working in the broad spectrum consumer electronics market. And I did that for about five years or so. And it was a very transformative time because I watched a lot of technology go from analog to digital to disappear. And that sort of set a sort of a premise of that things will definitely come and go as technology advances. And then, well, I guess back in 2012 or 2014, I started looking at new technology again, primarily the demonetization of energy and the demonetization of transportation, that those two things will become ubiquitous. And of course, the demonetization of data flowing globally. And then in 2016, I got introduced to blockchain. And just as I saw converging technology in the 90s, I saw blockchain being a converging technology today. This will allow value to be tied in and finance all these new technologies that are coming through, which is broadly referred to as the fourth industrial revolution.
Amazing. I have to ask you then, what advice would you give to anyone getting involved in the blockchain crypto industry?
Sure, advice. Yeah, do your own research is one of the first big ones. Read and learn as much as you can. There's a lot of nonsense out there. There's a lot of great places to start. I mean, the Blockchain Revolution book by Dan Tapscott is kind of a sort of a primer for a lot of people, shows you a lot of use cases of what blockchain can do. And then if that sort of sparks your fancy, that's great. If you want to learn more about like what Bitcoin's doing, you could look at something like Mastering Bitcoin by Andreas Antonopoulos and go down that rabbit hole, which is what got my involvement into money and what money is and what financial services are and where this is really going in that direction. Maybe if you're a corporate, if you're treasury, and you have a corporate treasury, and you have a lot of money that you're watching melt, you might want to go listen to somebody like Michael Saylor of MicroStrategies and start talking about why you want to deploy your capital into Bitcoin and hold it as a reserve treasury asset, and how you're going to de-risk your company by doing that. It seems counterintuitive, but it turns out to be real. So those are a couple of, I think that's some of the big ones. Do a lot of research and do what's comfortable for you. And when we all come to risking money, don't risk money you can't lose. I had all of mine stolen in Quadriga a couple of years ago. So I thought it was safe keeping it on exchange. Although it's Canadian, I live just outside of Toronto. I thought it's a Canadian exchange. I can send the money through the post office. These guys have got to be legit. And sure enough, it wasn't. So as the old saying goes, not your keys, not your coin. Learn to protect yourself and just try to be diligent about it.
Super valuable information, Stephen. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Only 2 more speakers to go, guys. On to the next, Ryan Lavelle, who is the founder of Empower Technologies, which is a platform startup in clean air technology sector. Ryan, how are you today?
Good evening, Zach. Good evening, audience. And thank you, John, and everyone for the opportunity to speak today. It's a pleasure to see you all.
Fantastic. It's a pleasure to see you too, my friend. Ryan, could you let us know really quickly, why is crypto important to you?
Cryptocurrency to me is a fundamental revolution. I think in the history of our species, we've seen these kind of revolutions before in Renaissance periods, and this is a transition to a new form of economy, and they call it the fourth industrial revolution. Never before has there been an opportunity to manage economies at this kind of scale in the speed and pace with digital technology, and that's really the fundamental change I see with crypto.
Great answer, fantastic. Can you let me know, Ryan, obviously your business Empower Technologies, how is it currently making an impact within the crypto space?
Well, I'd love to say we are currently making an impact, but I would, just want to preface by saying that we're still at the early stages of the business.
So let me rephrase. How are you planning to make an impact within the crypto space?
Yeah, so we're planning a number of very exciting things in the crypto space to disrupt different industries, principally focused on energy and sustainability. We are planning a token launch later this year to create essentially a security token for carbon, which will enable investors to support our platform for the larger initiatives that we are planning. We're working with a number of very exciting technology partners who have cutting edge disruptive technologies in both energy, water, and clean and agricultural technology. And we're working with these partners to set up a new platform and a new ecosystem, which will enable them to go to market and scale the impact of their technologies, and really bring some benefit to humanity.
That's amazing. Can you tell us, Ryan, why are you so passionate about helping people learn about this industry?
Yeah, I think like any new asset class, there's a steep learning curve. There is a lot of a lot of mistakes get made in the early stages, and I always like to be thought of as a pioneer. I tend to adopt early, fail fast, and learn lessons, and then try to teach my peers what I've learned, mistakes I've made, and to help them avoid making those mistakes. And that's it in a nutshell, really.
Cool, amazing. And if you were to give anybody some advice about joining the crypto blockchain industry, what would you say?
Well, not to blow our own trumpets, but I think we've heard some really good speakers tonight. I think some of the speakers in particular would be great investment gurus to pick up and follow as you're embarking on this journey. But just one other thing I would add into this: it's such a tech heavy industry, so it's really important to focus on the technology. A couple of reference books I would really recommend. One is called The Token Economy. I have a copy here by a lady called Charmin Bosgear. Shameless plug, but really recommend that everyone who goes into crypto understand the fundamentals of blockchain technology and DAO economics. That's one. And thirdly, look at the exchanges and the liquidity pools that you'll be operating in, and make informed choices about where you're spending your money.
Amazing, fantastic. And if anybody needs to get in contact with you or Empower, what do they do, Ryan?
Please go to our website. That's www.empower.biz. And please also feel free to look me up on LinkedIn. I'm readily available there.
Cool. Thank you so much for your time. Really do appreciate it. We have had a fantastic lineup of speakers, and definitely, last but not least, we have Christian Skoglund, who is the Chief Marketing Officer of GokuMarket.com, and he's going to take the show out. So, Christian, no introduction. How are you doing today?
Absolutely fantastic. First of all, I want to give a big round of applause for all the amazing speakers today. And of course, to John and to Zach for putting together this absolutely kick-ass 2.5 hours power session. I mean, if there are still any people out there who are not sleeping in their chair, it's time to wake up. We're going to kick off this party and do it with a big shebang here over from Goku Market. And then, of course, at the end, I'm sure that we're going to hear some more from CashFX as well. So again, thanks so much for having me from Goku Market.
No worries. We still have 922 people in the room, so and I hope they are not asleep, definitely. So, in a nutshell, what is Goku Market?
Absolutely. So Goku Market, our slogan is one marketplace for the blockchain economy. And that in itself is fairly telling. We are also, as a company, the world's #1 utility provider for this little baby right here, the Bitcoin, the knight in shining armor, the gold, right? The Bitcoin. So what we do is that we are a marketplace where we provide utilities for any and all cryptocurrency projects out there. We run an exchange, we run a wallet, and we run a marketplace where we offer a tremendous amount of different opportunities for ordinary consumers, everyday people all around the world that actually want to help the adoption and the real use case. They all come to Goku markets.
I haven't heard of that before. So am I right to assume that Goku Market would be the #1 crypto utilities provider?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a very bold statement that we make. And the reason for that is because, of course, you know, when you're looking at the #1 crypto company in the world, of course, everybody knows it's Binance. You know, as an exchange, they are the biggest, they are the best, they are the bull in the room, let's call them like that, right? And so then, of course, there are companies that are coming up and growing up all the time. With Goku Market, we're 1.5 years old company. We have just hit a top 50 ranking in terms of the global companies on the coin market cap ranking as well. So because we're running an exchange, we have ourselves being ranked now. We're also licensed out of the European Union. So we're running a fully licensed exchange and wallet provider. And that also allows us to offer, you know, we had one company earlier today that was presenting about their fiat opportunities. So we also are integrating with more and more fiat partners and ourselves. We have the Euro bank account. We accept the SEPA deposits and transfers for all of our European clientele. And we are integrating with more and more vendors and marketplace partners as well, so that we continue to become the go-to marketplace in the entire cryptocurrency industry. And just the #1 utility thing, I do want to touch on and say that we have more than 100,000 products available on Goku Market across the European Union. We also have thousands of products in Thailand and Asia. We have thousands of products in Ecuador, South America, and we are expanding into more and more global markets. I believe India actually is going to be one of our next major markets that we are broadening into with the Goku marketplace.
Okay, so let's roll back a little bit because you seem extremely passionate about what you're talking about. What were you doing before Goku Market?
Absolutely, absolutely. Thanks for the great question. So my background is that I've been everything from a group CFO to operations and entrepreneurial startup companies, primarily focusing on e-commerce and again, marketplace. I used to work for about 5-6 years in the fashion industry with the competitors of Zalando and Zalora. If you also want to find out more about myself, you can easily head over to LinkedIn. And I also have on YouTube, I go under the profile name as Christian Crypto Coiner in the industry. I've been into crypto since 2016, and I've been very active in terms of driving mass adoption and educating thousands of people about the basics in crypto. So based on that, please check out, there's a short little video on YouTube about me as well. It's you just Google it or YouTube me for Christian Crypto Coiner, and you'll be able to find me right there.
Okay, cool. So you clearly are extremely educational and very knowledgeable about the industry, which I only have one more question for you. From your God honest heart, what advice would you give to those who want to invest in crypto?
Absolutely. I mean, every single great and amazing speaker here today have hit on the same exact point. So I really hope it hits home with everybody. Please do your own research. Please, if you find somebody, it doesn't matter if it's your very best friend who is asking you to invest your hard-earned money into something new and amazing. Please look it up. Do some basic lookups, read up on the team, read up on the project. Try to understand it before you put your money to work, because the cryptocurrency industry has so many companies that offer so many ways for you to double your money, to triple your money, and you always should be a critique. You always should look into it and try to really understand the logic behind what they are doing, and if there is transparency enough for you to make the decision. And then, of course, diversify accordingly. Don't take and put all your eggs in a basket and stick everything into ICOs and high risk things. You know, we saw the pyramid from the other gentleman a few minutes ago earlier. That was brilliant, showing and sharing something like that. It just gives people the right notion and the right way that they should be doing when they're entering into the cryptocurrency industry.
Amazing. Thank you, Christian. I know I don't need to say this because you got your mascot right behind you, but how do people get a hold of you if they want to continue this conversation?
Whichever channel ever all around the internet you would love to hit us up on, you are so very welcome. All roads bear to Rome. You'll find me over on YouTube. You'll find me over on Facebook. You'll find me on Telegram, or, you know, all of the social media channels. The best channel to reach me is probably going to be on Facebook. Right there, Christian Crypto Coiner. Everybody warmly welcome.
Thank you, Christian. I really appreciate that insightful commentary there. Thank you so much. John, I believe that's it.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I mean, thank you guys, really, to all our speakers. It's been an incredible event. It's gone over time, but hey, who cares when you've got this much information and this much valuable information from so many people who hopefully have proved inspired